hard to understand. And look, I want to back up a little bit because um, he said something, one of them said something like, okay, well, even if physicalism is not true, it doesn't mean that consciousness is fundamental. Well, actually, it does. Actually, it does. If physicalism is not true, and you cannot give an account of how consciousness emerges from physical processes, that means one of two things. Either consciousness is more fundamental than physical processes, or it's just as fundamental as physical processes. Okay, so if you can't, if physicalism is false, it does entail that it's fundamental in some way. It doesn't entail necessarily that idealism is true specifically, but it entails that, yeah, we need some sort of a fundamental description of what we're talking about here.
Yeah, that's how we get the fundamentality anyways, is through these sort of exercises. Hey, Claire, how are you doing today? You're muted if you're talking. Claire.
Hello, sorry, I was talking while muted. Thank you for your welcome. I was just wondering why do we need to argue about fundamental consciousness? Don't we already know that we're already conscious?
Yeah, go ahead, Alex. Answer that.
I mean, yeah, we already know that we're already conscious, but that doesn't necessarily entail. So, look, there's a lot. I'm not sure where you're coming at from, or where you're coming from in this.
Atheists seem to ask a lot of redundant questions when they could be discussing, more important things like politics, but they seem to, want to discuss things that nobody's arguing about. Nobody's.
I'm not sure
politics we're not conscious. We don't know what consciousness is. So what's the point of arguing about it?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't even know if I agree with what you just said, to be honest with you. I'm not sure politics are more important. I tend to think politics are part of the matrix, and that should be like mostly ignored, in my opinion. But that's just me. Anyway, yeah, I'm not sure.
Part of the matrix.
Yeah, politics is just a big game, man. It's all nonsense. None of it's real. It's all a big show.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think is more important than politics?
Consciousness.
But we already know we're conscious, so why are we discussing it? I just don't get it.
Well, sure, we already know we're conscious. I agree with that. But I think that there's a lot of divide on basically, look, there's this question of what are we? What is this reality? Are we sophisticated biological machines, piles of atoms that woke up one day? Or are we something bigger? Are we something more fundamental? Are we something more bizarre than that particular story? I would go with the latter. But I think that a large part of the Western world would go with the former. And I think that's why it's important. It's an important discussion to have.
So maybe
hey, let me ask you: Are you a theist, right? You're a theist, right?
Sorry.
Are you a theist? Do you believe in God?
No, I'm agnostic. I'm just a political thinker who sees the utility of religion in helping us solve and avoid problems.
Okay. Well,
and I noticed there is a certain prejudice. Against.
I wanted to make a point about that question I asked. The reason I asked is because I didn't know if you were a theist or not, but many theists, many people that are religious, tend to treat consciousness as central because what it does is it connects directly to their own core claim about reality, God, and human nature. That's one main reason that motivates them to believe in God. They see themselves as an image of God. And so by discussing the nature of consciousness, it can motivate or it can give reason to the argument for God. If you're a theist. Now, if you're not a theist, the same thing can apply. We can talk about our nature. This even affects how we approach politics, how we approach life in general. Because if we put consciousness as primary, then we're sort of, defining our place in the universe. as sort of central, sort of fundamental in that whole thing. And so when we think about politics, you think about laws, you think about all the things that go into political life, and appealing to the constituent, the people, a lot of people, they try to say that consciousness is not important. Just follow what we say. What's more important is following authority, or like Alex said, operating within that matrix or that context. Whereas if you see yourselves as fundamental experience of life, it leads to so many things that can expand your view to where you can sort of transcend the matrix, and you can sort of see yourself as more.
What does it mean to transcend the matrix? I mean, I grant you that, if you don't agree that God exists, then obviously you should discuss who is right and who is wrong. I mean, is that a fair summary of what people should do?
If something is wrong, you'd have to be able to define who you are, first of all, because
so you decided you don't believe in God. You think atheism is true and theism is untrue.
Well, to be fair, look, that's kind of a non sequitur. I think what Scott is trying to point out there is that our metaphysical beliefs about reality are upstream from any kind of politics or anything of that nature. So what you think you are, what you think the nature of reality is, entails kind of, in a loose way, very loosely speaking, entails what's going to be your political views, what are going to be your normative behaviors, and things like that. That's all Scott's saying. Like, I don't think he's even brought up, like, he didn't say like God doesn't exist. Not yet.
No, nothing like that. The thing is, like, what do we mean by matrix of politics, first of all? So what I'm really saying here is that when we use that phrase, like, I'm pretty sure Alex means the same thing. It's like identity-driven tribalism, emotional manipulation, using that. The media shapes your perception through advertisements, social media, campaigns. It's just this us versus them thinking. And when you ground yourself in a non-dual idealistic sort of thing, then you sort of transcend that. You treat thoughts, beliefs, and narratives as just appearances and awareness, not as unquestionable reality that you have to just march to the orders, to.
Very well
nobody does that. I mean, whether the atheist or theist, they're always disagreeing with each other, right?
Yeah, but they're disagreeing at a level which is already downstream. Look.
Downstream of what?
Downstream in the dream.
Okay, you're just going to be talking nonsense. Downstream in the dream. It sounds like some song.
Would you like me to explain?
Yes.
Okay. So when I say downstream in the dream, I'm mirroring exactly what Scott was just trying to say to you. Did you pick up on anything he was putting down there? Because what he's saying is, when you take have you ever heard of non-dualism? Let me ask you that.
No. So okay, dualism is what? Mind and body.
Yeah, it's. I would venture to guess it's probably what you believe. So do you believe, you've expressed that you're a theist,
no,
or you said you were agnostic?
I said I'm agnostic.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I didn't say that, but I'm just asking you the point of your discussions. Where's it going to go? What is the point?
Well, hold on. I was trying to answer your question.
There's an answer to some question. I don't even know what your question is.
Hold on. I was trying to
You guys have been the ones talking and talking and talking.
You asked me a question. I'm trying to work with you. And now you're just like spazzing out. Just relax.
Yeah.
Look, I was just trying to ask you if you've ever heard of non-dual, because you're asking me what I mean by downstream. Okay. Please stop interrupting me.
Non-dualism is materialism, right? Well,
please stop interrupting me. No, it's not.
At a time.
Look, just relax, dude. You asked me what I mean by downstream.
I'm not a dude. Do you call everybody dude?
I do, actually.
Oh, yes. That's dumb, right? Everyone's dude.
Why are you so angry?
I don't want to talk to dumb people who call everybody dude.
Clara, do you
Okay.
want to engage with the conversation, or do you want to do
Peace
all?
out.
Yeah. So you guys are just going to call me dude and talk more nonsense at me and not answer my question. You're going to give me some crap lecture about
I don't know why
materialism
you're
or
spazzing out.
non-duality, and I'm asking you a simple question: what is the point of your discussion? So what
We
if we have
told you.
fundamental
I told
consciousness?
you already, Clara.
We already told you.
Well, I don't accept your dumb answer. You're wasting your
Okay.
time, right? And this
All
is how
right.
this is a
Okay.
circle
Well, I
jerk
mean,
where
why
you just
why
sort
are
of,
you on the channel then? Why are you paying attention?
Apparently, you're wasting your time along with us right now.
yeah, I noticed somebody I used to know, what was his name? Leo Phyllis. And he thinks he's so smart, right? And because he uses these big words to show how smart he is,
Does
and
that
you
make you feel
people,
bad when people use big
what is
words? Does
consciousness
that make
and
hey, Clara, does that make you
duality and
feel bad? Does it hurt your feelings that other
non-duality?
people are smart? Does
Well,
that bother you? Does that hurt your feelings?
if you're atheist,
Shame
you
on
should be
you.
wasting your time asking yourself dumb questions and not
Scott, make
answering
sure you
them.
don't use any words that are over like 3 syllables, Scott, or else you're gonna make
Right.
people feel bad.
Yeah.
I'm asking you
Why
a
are you
question.
crying,
What
Clara?
is the point of asking
You just
yourselves
came
dumb
on here to
questions?
cry about our topic. You came in here to cry about
No,
so
I've
many
noticed
things.
that you
I
like
mean,
talking about these things. You
but
like
why are you
asking
crying?
yourselves
Well,
dumb
then why did you
questions and not
come here to
answering
cry?
them, and then circle jerking to it.
Okay.
Look, you're
Well,
just
we like
mad that we told you the politics that you care so beloved, your beloved politics that you
Of
care so
course, you wouldn't
deeply.
be anything in politics because nobody would trust you to lead them because you can't
Bro,
even
why do
think
you
clearly.
keep talking? Hey, dude, why do you keep talking
Hey,
over me?
dude. Hey,
Can you
lady.
please can you please stop talking over
Hey,
me?
two ladies. Hey, girls.
hey,
I don't
Claire,
care if you call me a girl.
Hey, girls.
what is the crying about? Why are you crying so much,
I'm
man?
not crying. I just thought I'd ask you what the hell you think you're doing with your lives, your atheist lives, which is finite,
Bro,
right?
Does it hurt
Bro.
your feelings?
And you're going to say we just
Bro.
we just sit around in circle jerks asking ourselves dumb questions and never answering them.
Bro, politics is not fundamental. Politics is the matrix. You should get your head out of the matrix.
It actually means the womb. Okay.
Claire, you're
So,
manipulated by
you're
the
calling
system.
me bro, I'll call you sis.
Call me sis. That's
Well,
fine.
You're
I'll be
a pair of
sis.
girls. You're a
I'll be
pair of
sis.
girls who are very
I'm a bad
confused.
bitch. I'm a bad bitch.
And you're very confused, and you know it's not getting anywhere. You haven't even got a proposition, because for a debate you have to say it's either a question, is
Yeah,
X,
you want
Y,
the
or
proposition?
something, or
You want the proposition?
yeah.
Whatever God you believe in doesn't exist.
I'm agnostic, so I don't care. I'm just asking
Okay.
you guys what you think you're doing with your atheist lives, asking yourselves dumb questions like, what is consciousness?
Well, what are you doing with your
Is
agnostic
consciousness
life?
different to fundamental
Why don't
consciousness?
you stand up for something? You need to stand up for either God or no God. You're sitting in the middle. You're an agnostic. You're just that I don't know kind of person. What are you doing with your life as an I don't know
Well, what
person?
I do know is that people with religion tend to be more powerful than dumb atheists who ask each other dumb questions in a circle jerk.
Bro.
Nice opinion.
Yeah, I mean,
all right,
look,
I'll leave you to your fun. Thank you for having me, guys.
oh, yeah, you have graced us with your presence. Thank you so much. Very grateful.
Yeah. What was that all about?
Yeah. I don't know. Good Lord.
Man.
I'm going to start believing in God just because of that.
Yeah, man, that did it.